going to be hammered in the elections if we do not extend these ACA. The speaker, of course, has to deal with conservatives on the other end who do not want to extend them. So he's in a pickle. But there are many Republicans who are really concerned that this is going to come back to haunt them in November next year.
Can I ask if there's any indication that after all the years that Donald Trump has slammed Obamacare, that he does have a concrete proposal that will be put forth soon?
So as you know, there was a proposal that the White House was going to release before Thanksgiving. Republicans on Capitol Hill caught wind of it. They did not like it. They shut it down pretty quickly. Trump has continued to talk about this issue around healthcare. There are concerns about affordability, as you know, among the Republican conference. So the White House is pushing them to do something. He wants to send money directly to patients rather than to insurance companies, is what he's repeatedly said. In the Republican policy sphere, that looks like these health savings accounts that the Senate considered and rejected this last week. And this Republican healthcare proposal in the House does not include that. So we may see another attempt to do something with healthcare early next year, but in the short term, it's going to be all about these ACA subsidies.
Yeah, absolutely. Riley Begnan, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again.
This weird scissor replacing gadget is quickly becoming the most popular Christmas gift of 2025. It makes breaking down boxes and cutting tough materials easier than ever, eliminating the need for scissors or box cutters. My husband got me one for Christmas, and at first I thought it looked kind of crazy, but after you...
Right, we've got...
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the SpinCycle. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the SpinCycle. If you like what we do here, like I said, always say, subscribe, like, share it with a friend. I'm back here on my Reddit channel. I don't know if anybody's watching or not, but we shall carry on anyway. Got my favorite Reddit channel open. Not quite yet. That's the inflation Reddit channel. Let's see, inflation. Pal, inflation for goods has picked up, reflecting the effects of tariffs. Yep, we all knew that would happen, right? It's only a matter of time. Now in conservative, Rob Reiner and wife murdered in LA home. That can't be true, can it? My heart goes out to their daughters that found them. I remember hearing my dad howl laughing while watching all in this family. May he and his wife rest in peace. Holy shit, condolences to family and friends. Dude made some of my favorite movies ever. Fucking terrible to hear this. Yeah, that's incredible. Breaking news, guys. Rob Reiner, the infamous meathead from the 70s, All in the Family. A classic show. If you haven't seen All in the Family, you're missing out. Sorry, I'm trying to find my stream window here. Still got a little lag going on my stream window. See. One person viewing, all right. Wow, this is disturbing. Somebody murdered Rob Reiner and his wife in their house. Let's see if we could open this Associated Press feed here. Rob Reiner and his wife found dead in Los Angeles home, AP sources say. That is crazy. Rob Reiner has been an institution in my life. That makes me very sad. He was great as Meathead in the 70s, and he also made movies like, what's that one? My Name is Indigo Montoya. The Dread Pirate Roberts. What was that movie? Oh man, he made some great movies. That's terrible. Director, actor Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were the two people found dead Sunday at a Los Angeles home owned by Reiner, according to a law enforcement official briefed on the investigation. The official could not publicly discuss details of the investigation and spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity. Investigators believe they suffered stab wounds and a family member is being questioned by investigators, the official said. The Los Angeles Fire Department said it responded to a medical aid request shortly after 3:30 p.m. and found a 78-year-old man and 68-year-old woman dead inside. Reiner turned 78 in March. Detectives with the Robbery Homicide Division were investigating an apparent homicide at Reiner's home, said Captain Mike Bland with the Los Angeles Police Department. Los Angeles authorities have not confirmed the identities of the people found dead at the residence in the upscale Brentwood neighborhood on the city's west side that's home to many celebrities. Reiner was long one of the most prolific directors in Hollywood, and his work included some of the most memorable movies of the 1980s and 90s, including This Is Spinal Tap. Never cared much for that, but A Few Good Men, a great movie. Remember A Few Good Men with who is it? Tom Cruise and what's his name? You can't handle the truth. When Harry Met Sally, good movie, not my favorite. There's The Princess Bride, one of the best movies ever made. His role as Meathead in Norman Lear's 1970s TV classic All in the Family alongside Carol O'Connor as Archie Bunker capitulated him to fame and won him 2 Emmy Awards. Relatives of Lear, the legendary producer who died in 2023, said they were bereft by the news. Yeah. Norman often referred to Rob as a son, and their close relationship was extraordinary. To us and the world, said a Lear family statement, Norman would have wanted to remind us that Rob and Michelle spent every breath trying to make this country a better place, and they pursued that through their art, their activism, their philanthropy, and their love of family and friends. Messages to Reiner's representative were not immediately returned. Sunday night, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass called Reiner's death a devastating loss for the city. Rob Reiner's contributions reverberate throughout American culture and society, and he has improved countless lives through his creative work and advocacy fighting for social and economic justice, Bass said in a statement. An acclaimed actor, director, producer, writer, and engaged political activist, he always used his gifts in service of others. The son of comedy legend Carl Reiner, Rob Reiner was married to photographer Michelle Singer Reiner since 1989. The two met while he was directing When Harry Met Sally and have 3 children together. Reiner was previously married to actor-director Penny Marshall. Oh yeah, I remember that. From 1971 to 1981. He adopted her daughter, Tracy Reiner. Carl Reiner died in 2020 at age 98, and Marshall died in 2018. Killings are rare in the Brentwood neighborhood. The scene is about a mile from the home where O.J. Simpson's wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and our friend Ron Goldman were killed in 1994. Wow, that's crazy. I feel for him, man. I'm glad all the conservatives and the conservative feed are giving their condolences. Usually they're pretty nasty in there. Okay, let's check out the inflation. Last live feed I did, I was mostly on the... Was it the inflation or the leopards eating their face one? I don't know. I can't remember. All right, 3 people viewing. You guys up late night in the U.S. So inflation's going up. Why is the Fed cutting while inflation is rising? Let me put the volume on for you guys for that.
Is the thing about what made this a particularly dovish cut is the opening paragraph of the statement said inflation has risen since our last meeting and remains elevated. What is it? So think about what that means. The stock market's at all-time highs. Inflation is above target as it's been for half a decade. It's rising, and they're still cutting. So by implication, that is extremely dovish.
They have 3 mandates. One is keep unemployment in check. 2 is moderate price increase.
And all-time highs in the stock market.
And no, 3 is not be sent to Guantanamo by Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's right.
So to satisfy the third part of the mandate is very important.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, you don't want to be sent to Guantanamo by Donald Trump. We are in an authoritarian regime right now where Trump can basically do whatever he wants and the Supreme Court will back him. It's a scary time. Let me just turn off the sound again. Although I already turned you guys off. Inflation for goods has picked up. Buy a kilo of meat right now. Tomorrow it'll be worth more. Yeah. It's called futures trading. Inflation is only 2. Go on, tell him. Inflation is only 2.7. So I guess they're showing. Let's take a better look at this. That must be way a lot more, right? Oh yeah, $15.99 a pound compared to $10.99 a pound. April 2nd, 2024, August 11th, 2025. Okay, so it's a year, but that's basically 50% inflation in 1 year on meat there. It's crazy. Deflecting from domestic crisis. Four views, all right. If you guys enjoy the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I do pre-recorded videos. I do these live streams. If you have any questions, I'll talk about anything you want. Feel free to ask me anything you want. Health costs in the U.S. is soaring. Housing costs are soaring. Grocery costs are soaring. That's true. It's so expensive in the U.S. right now. I mean, it's expensive all over the world. You know, I travel a lot, and everywhere I go, it's more expensive than it was 5 years ago, you know, more expensive than last year. But, you know, you could definitely, if you look back 5 years, you could definitely see the difference, you know, to today, especially before the pandemic. And that's not, you know, all Biden's or Trump's fault, but it's that Trump is definitely adding to inflation with his tariffs, and he doesn't seem to care about things because he keeps saying affordability is a hoax. Let's see, I saw this graph earlier today, house prices. Let's see, house price, income, there. Let's see if we could delineate this a little better. Median house prices, 2025. Price to income ratio. So this is the price to income ratio, I guess the average income. So in 1985, it was 3.5 or 3 to 5, which is like in the favor. Now it's 5 to 1. So it was 3/5 in 1985 of your income. Now it's 5 times your income in 2025. Price to income ratio, median house prices. The median house price of 2025 is $424,000. That sounds about right if you looked at houses any time in the past couple of years. 2020, $329,000. That's about $100,000 in 5 years. 2015, $289,000. 2010, $222,000. 2005, $232,000. So you see there, that's in between here was the, you know, the Great Recession, the 2008 recession, where housing costs went down. I think that's what's going to happen now. Housing costs are going to go down soon. 2,165. Oh man, the glory days. And in 1985, $82,000 you could get a house for. I was in high school then. I should have bought a house. Of course, I didn't have any money, and we were poor, but you know. Soda inflation has been unreal. I mean, don't drink soda, but yeah. I recently found a bill for a large Diet Coke from McDonald's in September of 2021. Price $1. Tax total price of $1.08. Check the price on the app, same location. It is now $3.29 with tax. That is a lot. That's 220% or 210%, something like that. I can't do the math in my head. With tax would be $3.55. So $1.08 with tax to $3.55 with tax. Absolute percentage increase equals, oh, he did it for me, 328.70% annual increase equals 32.31%. Monthly increase equals 2.36%. equals 2.36%. I remember so many people back then would not buy bottled water, but instead buy a large soda cup. Yeah, I remember that. And just fill it with water and fill it with water. You'd get almost a liter of water for $1 today in many places. Core Water, Smart Water, Essential Water, Dasani, all of them are actually more cheaper, or cheaper, just cheaper is the way you want to say it, or almost equal in prices to a large soda cup. 1 liter equivalent. There was this saying that fast food places would prefer to give. Okay, that's enough of that. You shouldn't drink a liter of soda anyway. That's like 32 grams of sugar, which, you know, is going to send you into a diabetic coma, but it is a great price increase. Here's the chart of charts. Wealth inequality. Here in 1980, so back in 1960, so okay, let's see. Net personal wealth, bottom 50% is the red line. Net personal wealth, 0.99.99%. So the top 1%. So this is like the Gilded Age, and this is now. Let's draw a line. We're about exactly where we were when The Great Gatsby was written, in the Gilded Age. Except it's worse for the bottom earners than it was for the bottom 50% than it was actually even in the Gilded Age. And look here, a little before I was born, but in the 60s, the share of, so what's this? Share of total share, okay, share percentage, that's why the numbers. So 2.5%, 5%. So the lower 50% even at a higher share in the 60s and, well, just in the late 50s and early 60s than the top 1%. And this is what Trump calls, you know, the great time in America. I actually think he's usually thinking of here, because that's kind of where we are now. And he seems to think everything is just dandy with the economy. Okay, let's keep going. Turn your app idea into something real with base 44. No, thank you. U.S. national debt has risen by $2.3 trillion since Trump took office. Republicans spent 8 years blaming Biden for the debt. Trump steps in and adds $2.3 trillion in under a year since. Okay, let's get off inflation here and go to leopards eating my face. This is always a great Reddit. Melania Trump, makeup artist, claims she's been totally canceled in beauty industry over MAGA link. Well, you know, I heard she gets paid some crazy amount of money anyway to do that, so what does she need more money for? I mean, everybody always wants more money, I guess. Trump supporting Venezuelan immigrant had citizenship ceremony canceled less than 24 hours in advance. Circa the BBC. Sanem, an Iranian immigrant who came to the U.S. over a decade ago, was finally about to become a U.S. citizen. Years of navigating paperwork, approvals, tests, and security vetting had brought her to the last step, a naturalization ceremony. But then, just 2 days before she was to take her oath on December 3rd, the U.S. government abruptly canceled it. Sanem, who was shocked and confused at first, there was no explanation. She didn't understand why the ceremony was canceled when she hadn't done anything wrong, she told the BBC. Later she found out it was because of where she was born, and sadness and frustration crept in. It's been just years and just feeling drained and feeling like, can I even keep going with this process because it's so hard? Sanam said, it's just very heartbreaking. Sanam, who wishes to remain anonymous for fear of retaliation but who chose to share her nickname, lives in Oregon with her husband, a U.S. citizen from Kansas. Her identity has been verified by the BBC. Her case is one of many. Earlier this month, the Trump administration began canceling the citizenship ceremonies of immigrants from 19 countries already subject to a travel ban, including Iran. That controversial decision left some legal permanent residents like Sanem, people who already had passed through every step of the process to become U.S. citizens and were only awaiting the final formality. In an indefinite state of uncertainty, it just feels like our life is kind of in this limbo state, unstable, Sanam said, adding that she and her husband feel like they are at the mercy of what the government decides. This experience has led Sanam to start reconsidering whether it's worth it to stay in the U.S. She still has family in Iran, including her aging parents, and she doesn't know when she'll be able to see them again. It's hard to think about hope at this point, she said. It's a really scary time, and unfortunately, as we approach the holidays, it's just really sad that people are going through this, and it's supposed to be a season of joy and getting together with your family. 19 countries affected by travel ban. Yeah, Trump, after the killing of the 2 soldiers by the Afghani national a few weeks ago, he put travel bans in 19 countries. Who knows if they're legal or not, but he did it. He gets no pushback from the Supreme Court, so I suspect it's legal for him. Maybe not for a Democratic president or anybody else, but for Trump it's legal. He's got his corrupt, sycophantic Supreme Court to back up anything he does. And because Trump is a reactionary, and that Afghani killed those people, he banned people from 19 countries like Iran, mostly hostile countries, Iraq, Somalia, Venezuela, of course, Cuba, because he's a reactionary, basically. Let's see where we are in the stream here. All right, 5 guys watching. Oh, I just heard myself. That's really loud. Trump regret grows louder as voters say the economy is worse than when he took office. Let's give that a look-see. President Trump is facing fresh warning signs from voters who once gave him the benefit of the doubt. A Friday report from Axios highlights growing frustration among some 2024 supporters in North Carolina, a state Trump has long counted on, who now say his leadership is not living up to expectations. That regret is not limited to survey respondents. North Carolina beekeeper Jim Hartman voted for Donald Trump 3 times, believing a second Trump presidency would be good for farmers. Now with tariffs and cuts to federal programs that provided tens of thousands of dollars in revenue to him, Hartman tells CNN's Randy Kay what he thinks about his choice. North Carolina is one of Trump's most reliable states on paper. He won it in all 3 of his presidential races, and it has backed a Democratic nominee just twice in the past 50 years. At the same time, the state has elected Democratic governors during the last 3 presidential cycles, giving it a reputation as a true swing state where voter moods can shift quickly. Beekeeper Jim Hartman. There he is. Axios examined surveys of 14 North Carolina voters who supported Joe Biden in 2020 but switched to Trump in 2024. The results suggest a sharp turn. 11 of the respondents now disapprove of Trump's performance as president, and 12 say the economy is worse than when he took office. The group included 11 independents, 2 Democrats, and 1 Republican. Many of those voters push back on Trump's claims that the economy is booming and that concerns about rising costs are overblown or politically motivated. I just think he's full of it, and he's always blaming Biden for everything instead of taking responsibility for what he's done, said Karen L., a 61-year-old independent from Wilmington. Gas is more expensive. Groceries are more expensive, added Stephen J., a 54-year-old independent from Cornelius. But then you have to factor in, this is someone who is chauffeured. This is someone who's shopped for. So I think that there's a disconnect between the average everyday American people and the president. Duh. Thank you for noticing. We were trying to tell you that before the election, that it's impossible for a billionaire to relate with an average American. But you voted for him anyway, so now that it's affecting you, oh yeah, you don't like it. It's hurting your pocketbook, not just poor people and black people and single moms. I was an idiot. Trump voter breaks down after ICE arrests his wife despite his support. Yep, I read that one the other day. A few days after Japan's Takaki announced she would recommend Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, he ordered the Pentagon to conduct nuclear testing. These people, they never learn. They just suck up to Trump, Suck it up, and what does he do? Stabs you right in the back. I mean, he's done that to everybody in his life, including his own family, and still, you fall prey to him. You have this need to suck up. It's like their personalities, they have to, worship the the limp dick of Donald Trump. I voted to hurt myself. Bill Hawks Jr. Somebody please explain to me how the Republican Party, who claims to be the pro-family party, is purposely raising the cost of health care that will destroy families. I voted for Trump, but he is making me regret it. They claim to be the pro-family party, but look at their policies. They don't have pro-family policies. Is no abortion a pro-family policy? I don't know. Like strict abortion abolition is like not pro-family, because mothers that don't have to die because they can't get abortions when they need them. And yes, that's what a lot of states now have. Mississippi, places like that. No abortion at all. Texas, doesn't matter if the mother's going to die. No abortion. We are an American-Cuban couple who has supported a racist. We're getting racism. Yoel is currently undergoing his naturalization, a process that took us tens of thousands of dollars so far, and a booklet of paperwork that's at least 2 feet tall. We've waited in line, doing all the right steps. We've done it right away. We both love this country, and we often make videos on how much we appreciate it, and still do. This week, the Trump administration paused all immigration, including naturalization, from 9 countries, including Cuba. While we understand people need to be vetted, we're both devastated that Yoel's immigration case can be delayed and plus put at risk that his green card will expire. Many of you voted for illegal immigration to get halted, and we understand. However, those of us who did it legally for years now are feeling pretty nervous. We hope the pause ends soon. Don't Cuban Americans have some kind of special entry program to the U.S.? I can't. Somebody, if you guys know, go ahead and comment on that. Go ahead and unfollow. Go ahead and unfollow, but here's our way. Here's our why. Sorry. We aren't conservative. We aren't registered Republicans. We don't even consider ourselves MAGA. But a few months ago, as fate has it, Charlie Kirk invited Yoel and I to a debate, the first ever debate Yoel saw in his 37 years of life. And seeing that was understanding the power of democracy and liberty. We came to respect a man's life who was devoted in knowing that freedom of speech comes from agency and power in the individual. And in that we can all unite, even with our disagreements and different backgrounds. The worship was the most beautiful part of today. Worshipping with fellow humans, no matter our individualist thoughts. Is that what they got out of a Charlie Kirk debate and rally? I usually just see racism. We went to Charlie Kirk's memorial as non-conservatives. I am preparing for the Charlie Kirk memorial and feeling the weight of the event. We aren't conservative, not MAGA, and immigrants anticipating a large crowd and heightened security. I hope the event planning is adequate. All proceeds from the video will be donated to Turning Point USA, supporting... You know, Charlie Kirk's estate was worth $90 million. You think he was doing all that for altruism and to help other people? No. Reacting to the recent New York City election, we discussed the rise of socialism in America and how current events are shaping the political landscape. We analyzed the situation through the lens of New York Times and comment on the future of American politics. This is their channel, I guess? Huh. Okay. I guess you're finding out, huh? I supported Trump, but I didn't expect his racism to affect my race. Sankrat Sanu. It was so Islamophobic of them to attack a Jewish festival. It just reinforces stereotypes. I'm so worried this will increase Islamophobia. We need to all condemn that. I support Trump, but to be honest, I'm seeing a lot of anti-Indian racism rhetoric from the Republicans. Yeah. They don't like Indians. The threat of racism in this country is a farce perpetuated by the Democratic Party to keep the brainwashed in their control and to put fear in the hearts of anyone that would challenge anything. Racism is not over in the U.S., people. Racism is alive and well. Racism is alive and well. Anybody who tells you we beat racism, they're a liar. They voted for this. 3,200 meatpacking workers thrown in the trash as Tyson shuts plant in 74% Trump town. Yep. I saw that the other day. That town's like, what is it, like 30,000 people or something like that, and 3,000 of them, did it just say it there? 3,200 are getting laid off, and the town is, small. Here, let's look real quick. So, residents of Lexington, Nebraska face an uncertainty after the town's largest employer announced it will close early next year. The news reported Friday, MS Now from Lexington. Tyson Meatpacking Company currently employs 3,200 people. January 20th. Have you ever been in a place where you can just feel the pain and the anxiety? That's what it feels. People have described happening here just by words. Catastrophe, crisis, collateral damage, hurt, anxiety, agony. We voted for Trump. Local business owners told Flores that sales started to plummet the moment Tyson announced it was closing the plant. Many business owners are immigrants who made the money to launch their business by working at the Tyson plant. There's another business here to my left down the street that women say, okay, the business owners are going out. A small supply cattle increase production costs for hamburgers and steaks. Cattle ranchers have seen dwindling herds due to drought, reducing the supply of land capable of feeding cattle. Blah, blah, blah. They don't say the size of the town here, I guess, but here, let's...
Whoever invented this deserves a raise. Take a string and a pencil.
Feel the pain and the anxiety. That's what it feels like being here in Lexington, Nebraska. This is a town of under 11,000 people, and 3,200 will lose their jobs on January 20th when the Tyson plant in town closes. People have described to me what's happening here by using the words catastrophe, crisis, the feeling of being collateral damage, hurt, anxiety, agony. I mean, just such powerful words because of what's happening here. The street that you see behind me is a vibrant business district. I've talked to some of the owners. Some of them are immigrants. As you drive up the street, the names of the businesses tell you about the diversity in this town. People from Mexico, from Guatemala, from Somalia, some of them former refugees who worked really hard at the Tyson plant, saved their money and became business owners in this community. There's another business here to my left down the street. That woman says that people have gone into her store sobbing. Her sales immediately dropped 10 to 20% right after the announcement. Up the street here is a public library. There are companies from all over trying to recruit workers. Here to my left down the street this way, there's a pastor who's trying to figure out how to speak about joy on Sunday services. The impact of this is everywhere. But here are some of the people that I talked to. Hear them in their own voices. Take a listen. Are you trying to get information from the city? Has the city provided any information to you?
No yet.
Is that frustrating?
Yes. We need to know what's the other plan he had it. You know.
From the economy perspective, from the spiritual perspective, everybody's worried. You know, everybody's thinking, specifically this season, what we need to celebrate. What will be the joy of this community in this Christmas season? Hoping? Expectations? Everything is in the air.
What do your friends tell you, the ones that are leaving?
We try not to talk about it because we get really emotional.
So you're mostly not talking about it?
We always try to think of the positive side.
The time that you still have together.
Yes.
Is that what you focus on?
Yes, we try to make the best of it.
Now, Katie, Tyson says that they are right-sizing, that's why they're closing this plant. And I have to tell you, some of the workers that I talked to are still praying for a miracle that saves their job this season. Katie?
Yeah, 3,200 jobs lost in a town with a population of 11,000. That is certainly significant. Rosa Flores, thank you.
There it is. The population is 11,000. That's a small town. Yeah, they're screwed. Welcome to capitalist America. Canadian boycott of U.S. hitting border states hard, congressional report says. Yeah, I noticed. I mean, when they started pulling all the crap with Canada, I figured that would be the result. %. 78% of U.S. farming counties supported Trump. Now, financially distressed farmers are expected to lose their properties soon. Trump's tariffs made key imports more expensive, and Trump's trade war halted Chinese orders for U.S. soybeans. I'm scared for the health of our mascot. I don't know if he can survive another 3 years of this. Florida charter school company run by GOP figure leaves parents frustrated. They dropped the ball. Yeah, not surprised. Voted for support the troops and crush the minorities, but got put on hold for a year instead. Okay, I don't know what that means. I'm switching over, changing gears here to see what they're talking about on X. Describe President Trump using only one word. Huh. Sounds like they set themselves up for that one. Pedophile of the year. Pedophile. One image worth 1,000 words. I think that's poop in his brain there. Psychopath. A person with a personality disorder that includes a pattern of lying, manipulating, glibness, arrogance, sexual promiscuity, delusions of grandeur, low self-control, no morals, takes no responsibility, callousness, lack of empathy, and no remorse. That sounds about right. Hemorrhoid. Oh, that's gross. Take a look at that again. Anyone who voted for Trump has betrayed humanity and is responsible for all the global chaos. Yeah. Let's see, Trump 7 times flew on Epstein's plane, 97 times pleaded the fifth, 34 felony convictions, 31 criminal charges. So I guess this is liar. Criminal charges, 26 sexual assault allegations, 6 bankruptcies, 5 draft deferments, 4 indictments, 2 impeachments, 2 convicted companies, 1 fake university shutdown, 1 fake charity shutdown, $25 million fraud settlement, $5 million sexual abuse verdict, $2 million fake charity abuse judgment, $93 million sexual abuse judgment to Eileen Carroll, I think her name was, 400 plus million fraud judgment. Okay. They laid into Trump on that one. RFK is preparing to ban pharmaceutical ads on TV. Thoughts? I think that's probably the best thing he's done if he does that. But now nobody watches TV, so it's kind of a little too late. Go ahead and ban ads everywhere for pharmaceutical drugs, like they do in Europe. I must have bad eyes. I don't see a number there. Australia took away its citizens' guns, but 10 people at Bondi Beach are dead anyway because terrorists don't care about gun laws. The only thing so okay, this is total bullshit, Don Keith. The only thing the Australian government did was make sure it's unarmed. That's the only gun violence really they've had in the 20 years since they banned guns. Compare that to the U.S. It doesn't even come close. It's ridiculous. Okay, guys, go ahead and like, subscribe. Thanks for watching my live again. I appreciate it. I'm new at these live feeds, so I'm still working on it. And please subscribe, comment, like, and share my videos. Go ahead and look on my video feed. There might be some other stuff you like, and I will see you next time. That was an hour. We got an hour in the hole, and I'll do this again soon. I'm going to schedule it, so if you subscribe, you could get on the schedule, and you'll get notified of my next live feed. Okay, have a good night. Get some sleep.